Hey guys, it's Julian, aka Megajellan. So, as many of you may already know, according to some of the videos that you may have watched of mine, I go to a lot of conventions and do blogs, videos, and even sometimes reviews on them. So you're probably wondering, why do that? Or you're thinking maybe you want to go to a convention sometime or some sort of event that maybe you've heard about, or maybe some of your friends told you, and you're probably wondering wondering about some of the things that go on during those things, huh? So I would like to share with you some of my tips and tricks on how to survive a convention. So you're probably wondering to yourself, why go to a convention? It could be a certain number of reasons, like it has something that sparks your interest, like anime, pop culture, video games, comics, etc. Another reason that it may have a special guest that you might want to meet, like a famous celebrity or a voice actor, or a number of reasons. Another reason is that it gets you out of the house, part of a community, meet new people, and etc. etc. Reference if you know what that's from. It will cost money, be forewarned, but never mind that part at the moment. So, without further ado, with those number of reasons aside, let me share with you my tips and tricks on how to survive a convention. So, one of the very obvious things you want to do before you even go to the convention is make a plan. Like, how many days are you going to go? How much money to bring? Do you have a cosplay you want to show off? Do you want to set up a panel, or etc.? Those things are going to be crucial for making a plan on how to survive a convention. I, for one, like to plan things ahead. So, is there a costume I want to show off? Do I tend to take pictures, make a video? Am I going to buy or take a lunch, or a number of reasons? Making a plan is very important to for these types of events. You know what they say, better safe than sorry, luck favors the prepared. It's always a smart idea to plan these things ahead before you even go. Even if it's last minute, even if it's last minute, you want to make a plan right away. So, and also, how are you going to get there? And other sorts of factors. All these things will be important to making a plan to how to survive one of those events. So, one of the very first things, as I keep mentioning in this step, is make a plan. Now, let's get on to the next step. So you just heard about the convention that you want to go to, and you're wondering to yourself, how am I going to get there? One of the first things you're going to need to do is look it up on Google Maps and figure out a way to get there. There are a number of options that you may have, for example, if you live in the Bay Area, there's BART, buses, and a few other options as well. If you live in another state or another region or province, look up your your options of transportation as well. Another option is that if you have a friend that's going there and it's not anywhere near to one of those public transportation systems, you may want to consider carpooling with them and going along with the flow. In short, you have a number of options that you may need to consider if you want to go into one of those conventions, whether it be a carpool, transportation systems, or other options that you may have. I mean, for all you know, you may even live just a couple of blocks from one of those conventions that you may go to. So in the end, looking up your options on how to get there will be crucial on how to get there. You know you're going to the convention and you're wondering how you're going to plan it out. So obviously one of the things you're probably going to want to do is make a list and how to plan your day out. Like, how much time are you going to spend in the shopping gallery? Are there people you're going to want to see? Is there a panel you want to check out? Keeping a track of the times and events of what you want to on what you want to do and how you're going to plan it out is going to be a big part in how you want to spend your time at that convention. Also, is there a gathering you want to check out, or is there a cosplay gathering you want to do, a workshop, etc.? Making a list of what you want to do for the day and how to spend your time at the con is something I strongly recommend you doing. I've done that. My friends have done that. It's going to be a big step. So keep that in mind on how to plan your day out is going to be crucial on how you want to spend your time at the convention. So make a list, plan it out, and see how it goes from there. Now there are going to be a few essential items that you're going to want to bring to a convention. Your wallet for one, which will contain money, cards, identification, and whatever else that it may need, such as transportation passes. Identification for one, they're obviously most likely not going to let you in to the convention without ID, depending on the rules. Money for one, in case you need to end up buying lunch or something to eat there, as well as your cards. A backpack will be a useful item to have if you're like planning to like bring a bag to like one of those cons. So even if it's like a handbag, something to put your stuff in. Battery chargers for like your phones and other devices will be another thing as well. Phone, as I mentioned, in case you need to like check your time, call your friends, or whatever means are important. Do you want to bring a camera to take pictures, videos? Something like that will also be a item to have if you want to like do a documentary on these cons, like I've done as for my other videos. You will obviously want to make a list of whatever essential items you might want to bring, such as, or you're going to have to bring, such as a phone, wallet, identification, money. Those are going to be essential items to have if you're like going to one of these big conventions. Using the buddy system is always a good idea. It's not only fun, but it can be very useful too. For the fun parts, going with a buddy is always a good idea because it's more fun, you get to spend more time with your friends, and plus, if it can, as I mentioned, it can also be useful, especially if you like staying at a hotel. Hotels obviously cost money, and the more people you have spending time in the room, the less the cost will be, because everybody's going to have to pitch in. That's one way the buddy system can work. Another way the buddy system can work is if you like sharing other options with your friends, and like what panels to go to, what events you want to try out, what gatherings you're going to, any number of reasons. So depending on how the buddy system works with you, even if it's like saving money for like hotels, if you're staying at a hotel for a big con, spending more time with your friends is always fun, as I keep mentioning, any number of reasons. Always keep the buddy system in mind when going to one of these big cons. Saving money is going to be a very crucial step if you are going to one of these big cons. Obviously, these conventions are going to cost money. I, for one, have done some tricks to save money for going to these conventions, like spending like bringing a lunch, and taking only a certain amount of cash. Saving money is going to be very important if you're going to be going to these big conventions, even if it's like staying at a hotel. Hotels will cost money if you're going to one of these cons. So it's best to bring multiple roommates if you're going to be going to these conventions. I've done that for one of these big cons like Anime, and yeah. Bring as much food as you can. A few snacks will be a good idea. A lunch if you're planning on going back to went back for more than one day. Yeah, obviously you're not going to want to be a thrift spender and just buy everything in the shopping gallery that isn't nailed down. That will rack up your bills big time. I've almost done that, to be honest, and it was not fun afterwards. So shopping is fun, but it's all fun and games until you look at the bill. So yeah, saving money is going to be a very important step if you're going to be going to one of these cons. Again, if you don't want to spend money on food, bring a lunch, a couple of snacks. If you do spend money in the gallery, in the shopping galleries, only buy what you absolutely want and limit yourself. Say for example, you bring like $80 in cash. That would be a good limit for your shopping and stuff. You're not going to want to buy something that's humongous. Well, maybe you can, but if you do, I'd strongly recommend that it's only for that one time, or occasionally. Like I said, you don't want to buy everything in the shopping gallery that isn't nailed down. So saving money for for food, bringing your own food would be a good idea. Getting multiple people to stay in the same room if you're staying at a hotel for one of these big cons, or whatever ideas come to mind. Saving money will be an important step for these big cons. Now, there may be a few other things in this video that I may not have mentioned yet, like how long you plan on staying at the con, or there's going to be other things that you're going to want to do. Is there anything else happening on the same day? So depending on what your experiences are for going to conventions, how you plan things out, what cosplays that you may or may not want to bring, or how you want to go along the day, those are going to be, and everything else I may have mentioned in this video will be incredibly important on how to survive a convention. I, for one, have been going to these cons since 2011, and let's say I've learned from experiences and past mistakes. And also, will there be anything else you might want to do, like bring a group, or be in a group, or how many friends are going to be going with you, or who do you plan to meet? Are you going to be meeting for lunch afterward, or dinner afterwards, or whatever stuff might be happening that day? Yeah. So yeah, like I said, depending on your experiences are for these conventions and events, what to bring, what not to bring, how to plan things out will be important on how to survive these things. Okay. And obviously, you do not want to rack your bill up, because that is going to cost you. Also. Well, I can't think of anything else at the moment, but yeah, as I mentioned, depending on what your experiences are, and for these cons and events, will be entirely up to you and how to plan things out for going to these cons. And that concludes my video on how to survive a convention, tips and tricks. I hope you found it helpful. So if you have any other tips that you might want to, for those of you who are watching this video, if you have any other ideas, tips, tricks on how to go through with these cons, feel free to leave them in the comments below, as long as they're not negative. Yeah, feel free to share them. So also, if you like this video, be sure to hit the like button as well as the red subscribe button. It would really help me out a lot. You can also find me on Facebook at Facebook/MegaJalan. Look it up on Facebook, hit like. I'd really appreciate it if you would follow me on my Facebook page, as well as my Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr, and other such accounts. They will be in the description below. Feel free to look them online. The username will be MegaJalan. Look it up. Be sure to watch my other videos, like my pages, follow them, and be sure to subscribe for more videos, and I hope to see you all for other future videos as I continue doing more like this. See you all later, and have a nice day.